Yes, my people, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Chasing Hyrox Valencia mini-series. This is episode number 3, and you've caught me this morning back in the UK, back home, whipping up my breakfast. So I'm going to show you what we're dealing with here. Nothing new, nothing changes. I've got the kefir bowl on lock. I'm about to throw a banana in there, a little satsuma. I've got some grapes, blueberries, all sorts of different toppings, nuts, seeds. You know the score. I've explained this plenty of times before, but I'm going to whip this up now and tell you what's going on with the rest of the day and what to expect from this full day of training and eating as we gear up and prepare for Hyrox Valencia. Right, okay, so as I mentioned, the kefir bowl is done and dusted, ready for my consumption this morning. I've got some chia seeds in this one, as I mentioned, all the different fruits, homemade granola, which is really easy to do. I just take some, steel cut oats, chuck in some nuts of my choice. I think this one's got cashews, almonds, all sorts of different nuts in there. Put in a little bit of organic honey. What else do I throw in there? A bit of cinnamon. And then I just put it in the oven or the air fryer. It's literally that simple until it crisps up. The honey binds everything together and it's truly delicious. What else was I going to say about this bowl? Obviously, nice and high in protein as well. I've got around 100 to 150 grams of kefir yogurt and then 150 to 200 grams of Greek yogurt. I'll go for that balance because the kefir yogurt on its own, whilst it's fantastic for that fermentation and those microbes, really beneficial for gut health, it can be a little bit bitter on its own. So I add the Greek yogurt for that extra creamy flavour. On this one today, obviously, I've got plenty of carbs from the oats, got some organic honey in there, but I've also got some grapes and the banana too. They're both higher on the glycemic index, which means that they release their sugars a lot more readily and a lot more quickly. I'll be training very soon. I've got a strength session today. I think you would have seen this self-same session 2 weeks ago, but in Montenegro. I'm currently in week 5 or week 6 of my block. I believe it's week 5. Week 5. So looking to build on my numbers from 2 weeks ago today so you can see how I get on there. But those carbs in here will more than fuel that session. My carbs are slightly lower today. It tends to be a lower carb day because it's less intense, and even tomorrow's session, whilst it is slightly longer in duration, it's going to be a conditioning session that's again at lower intensity, so there's not as much necessity for those carbs. Prioritizing the protein today and some healthy fats to get that hormone balance right and make sure that I'm still showing up and recovering. So without any further ado, I'm going to tuck into this, and I've got a big block of work to do, about an hour or two before we get to the gym, and I'll be bringing you with me there, of course. Right, okay, so that is a YouTube video recorded, a VSL recorded, a little bit of deep work done too, and now I'm ready to go to the gym, and it's time for a little bit of pre-workout. So I don't tend to take pre-workout, or I haven't previously, but Applied Nutrition were kind enough to send out some bits and pieces for me. I always take creatine. Creatine monohydrate is an absolute staple for me. I tend to take, 5 grams per day. If it's a particularly intense day of training, I will take upwards of 10, maybe 12, 10 to 12. But this pre-workout is absolutely banging, and I thought, why not? 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is, plenty for a session that I'm about to hit. It's also got some beta-alanine in there, which I am currently taking anyway, but 3 to 5 grams per day actually buffers the build-up of lactic acid. It's that supplement that gives you that tingly feeling, so if you do take pre-workout, you know what that is. Also contains some citrulline malate, which increases blood flow, and some taurine in there too, so it's actually a really quality pre-workout supplement, hence why I'm taking it. I'll also be taking some electrolytes from Liquid IV. I'm very blessed to have all of these brands reach out to me and support me. But Liquid IV's electrolytes are fantastic too. The strawberry flavour of Liquid IV with the cool watermelon from Applied Nutrition is the ultimate combo there. I absolutely love it. I'll get a little bit of ice in the shaker too. But yeah, I'm going to throw this little cocktail together. Creatine, pre-workout, electrolytes, and then get myself headed up to the gym. Shit. A little bit of ice in there. absolutely banging. Let's go do this. Right, okay, so hopefully you can hear me okay. That's a solid 10-15 minute warm-up done. Honestly, warming up has been a massive game changer for me. You know, making sure that I'm going into the session with all the right muscles activated. Did some split stance, B stance, RDLs there to warm up the glutes and the hammies. A little bit of isometric work on the Copenhagen planks as well. A little bit of cardiovascular stuff as well to get the blood pumping. 90 hip rotations as well, just to open up the hips. Sitting in a nice deep squat now to do the exact same thing. But yeah, starting off with some RDLs today, then on to some heavy back squats before some more accessory based work. But yeah, as I say, nicely warmed up, so let's go get cracking and make it happen. Conscious of copyright in here, but that is RDLs done. So very quickly, going to move on to heavy back squats. Probably won't be as heavy as I usually go, just because I set a PR on my front squat earlier in the week, and those RDLs were quite heavy. Happy to say that the numbers have in fact gone up from the last time I was here in the UK. So that means that I didn't lose any strength whilst in Montenegro. So happy days with that. But yeah, probably won't push it too hard on this heavy back squat. Probably go for about 80% of my 1 or my 3 rep max or 4 rep max, which is what I set at the start of the block. So that's the plan here. Few warm-up sets, 3 working sets. Let's get cracking. Okay, boom, session done and dusted. Look, can't talk. Oh shit, I've lost you. Started the engine and I lost you. Got you back, I think. Happy days. Right, oh, tunes are blaring, it's all going on. Need to get this aircon on. It's hot, man, it's bloody hot. Felt it towards the end of that one. I'd be lying if I said anything different. Tunes are still playing, hang on. Started off feeling really strong. Truthfully, I kept it a little bit quiet, but when I got here, I really wasn't feeling it. You know, you just have them days where you're just not in the right headspace for it. But felt a little bit tired. You know, I was up crack of dawn yesterday, dropping parents off at the airport. I was travelling on Monday back from Montenegro, so I'm playing a bit of catch up this week. Hence why I think I felt a little bit tired. But honestly, once I got into the session on them RDLs, I felt really strong. I had a really good warm up. Hit a PR for the block at least, and I think, you know, a PR overall. 8 RDLs at 110. It's normally my grip strength that sort of gives way more than anything else. Perhaps I should look at getting some straps, but you know, I've got to improve grip strength for things like the row and the farmers in Hyrox anyway. So I'm really pleased with the effort on the RDLs, and again, I felt really strong during the heavy back squat. My PR is 4 reps at 100 kg or 5 reps at 100 kg. I felt like I could have pushed to that, but there was no real need to, so I kept it at 90 kg, 2 sets
of 4 reps there. But again, felt really strong, felt like I could have pushed it more, but there was no need to, because on Monday I set a PR in the front squat, and I don't want to overload those muscles too much. So next week the focus will be on breaking that PR in the heavy back squat. Moved on to the second half of the session, a few accessories. You would have seen I did a little horizontal row, a cable row there. Felt good on that. All the numbers are going up there. Same on the body weight deficit push-ups. Beat my previous score on that, so I think I did 40 reps to failure. Then I did 33 on the next and 28 on the third, so pretty happy with that effort. Started to feel a little bit sluggish towards the end. Finished with some arms which I didn't record, and just wanted to get that done and get out. And I find myself here now, so plan is to get home, get some lunch on board, get it in nice and quick, because I will be going for a run a little bit later. I've got 6K on the card, so get some carbs in the system, get some protein in the system, of course. Really important when you're training double days to get the protein and the carbohydrates on as soon as possible. Struggling a little bit, not struggling, that's the wrong word to use, but things are feeling a little bit tougher than usual, because I think I've mentioned before, but I am going through a body recomp, so I'm losing weight. Finished the last season at about 81 kilo, which is the heaviest I've ever been. I'm currently sitting at about 76 kilos, so in a couple of 3 months I've lost, well, what's that, 4 or 5 kilo nearly. So I want to get down to around 74. That's where I used to be at running weight, but maintain my strength, which is the key, which is what I'm doing. My power to weight, what's it called? Power to weight ratio, weight to power ratio, whatever they call it, is improving, which is excellent, which is exactly what I wanted. That was the intention all along. Sacrificed a few months of looking a bit fat, basically, to get strong, and now I'm cutting down. The abs are starting to pop again, and I'm maintaining the strength. So it does make things a little bit more difficult at this stage, but it's okay. It's the off season. I want to get to that target weight of around 73, 74 kilo, and then I've got a bit of room, wiggle room, to play with there. So let's get on, get lunch on board, and get cracking with the rest of the day. I'll see you all in a wee bit. Right, okie dokie, lunch is served, and if you watched the last video and the video before that and the video before that, you'll know that my lunch has stayed pretty consistent recently, no matter where I seem to go. I've actually got some sourdough bread on this one because I felt in the gym, as I mentioned, I felt a little bit fatigued, felt like I needed some extra carbs. I'm intuitive with my eating, so I thought, a couple of slices of sourdough bread will go a long way with this one, but it's effectively some eggs, some tomato, some cheese. I've got cottage and feta cheese in this example, and some smoked salmon. Topped with some black pepper, sea salt, chili flakes, nigella seeds, all for those extra nutrients, flavour. You've got to enjoy what you're eating at the end of the day. I'm always banging on about that. So adding extra little herbs and spices goes a long way. I don't know exactly how many carbs, proteins, fats are in this, but I will put it on the screen and calculate it roughly. But I know that there are, of course, plenty of proteins and plenty of carbohydrates on here, which is essential for ensuring that I'm ready for my second session of the day, which is a run a little bit later. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm going to tuck into this now, crack on with some afternoon work, and then go for my run a little bit later, where of course I'll be bringing you with me. I might even go for a little sauna later, and the trim is in desperate need of some attention, so I'm going to go and get myself a haircut today as well. So that's the plan, that's the crack. I'll give you a little taste test whilst the camera is in fact here. Let's see what we're dealing with. Oh, I love it. When you just go through these phases of really enjoying certain foods. This has been my go-to lunch for about 2 months now. Absolutely love it. I'm always banging on about getting plenty of variety in your diet, and I do tend to do that. Like yesterday, I had some leftover beef mince with some scrambled egg, cottage cheese, a little bit of variety there, but more often than not, 4 out of 7 times a week, I'm eating this for my lunch at the moment. But yeah, carbs, protein, inhibiting that recovery process straight away. I think I've mentioned it before, but ensuring that you get your carbs in and your protein in as soon after training as you possibly can is essential, because it can hinder recovery by up to 30%, which is not what we want. So yeah, going to enjoy this now, stop my waffling, and get on with the rest of the day. Right, now I always seem to nearly forget this, but as a little dessert, I've also got a little bit of chocolate protein pudding here, which is quite simply just a scoop of applied nutrition chocolate protein powder. And I've got a little bit of honey in this one, a little bit of banana for an extra little boost of carbs. I've got a massive sweet tooth, and after I eat something savoury like that lunch you've just in there, I always crave something, so this is the perfect solution for me. So I'm going to tuck into this now before we get on with some work. Right, okay, so switching things up on the iPhone. I've not done much but work since I last spoke to you, so I've been pretty locked in. It's later than I would have liked to be getting out on this run, but it's 7 o'clock. It's not the worst thing in the world because it's pretty bloody hot today. I don't know why it's suddenly decided to be so humid, but going for a run a little bit later is not going to be the worst thing on a day like today. Things have lapped on and gone on for a lot longer than I expected, truthfully, as is often the case, but you know, it is what it is. We're still going out there. We're still getting it done. 6K on the cards. I did have those intrusive thoughts about just pushing it to tomorrow and doing 10K tomorrow as opposed to 6K today and tomorrow. But I thought, you know what? Let's go get it done. I went and picked up myself a nice sirloin steak. So that's sitting on the side ready for me when I get back. So, you know, I'm going to earn it with this little 6K. Nice and easy pace. Without any further ado, let's go out there and get it done. Right, okay, 2K in, nice and easy 5:30 pace, heart rate sitting pretty in zone 1, as I say, nice and easy. It's hot, it's bloody stuffy out here, very muggy, but yeah, just keeping it nice and steady. 4 more K to go, got that steak waiting for me, let's get it. Halfway, or just over now, approaching 4K actually. Yeah, still feeling pretty comfortable. Come down to the beach here and it's bloody beautiful. I feel like I'm back in Couture in Montenegro. Yeah, not quite, but something to look at nonetheless. Plodding along. Right, okay, and that is a wrap as the dog. Oi! What are you doing? What are you doing? Is that what you want? Anyway, let's do this. Right, okay, so we're kicking things off. Let me move the camera down there with just some mushrooms. I've got some mushies in the pan and a few left over, so thought I'd whip them up with the old steak-a-rooney. So got them on the go, but I'm going to show you very quickly how I actually do indeed cook my steak. So make sure the pan is nice and hot. The way to do that is I just get a little bit of water on my finger. Yeah, and you can hear it sizzling, so the pan is now hot enough. I'm taking me little sirloin here, that's all they had. So, you know, I'm not going to complain. The sirloin is still a nice little lump of steak. I'm going to lay it away from me. And what I'm going to do is for approximately 3 to 3.5 minutes, hopefully you can probably can't hear me here, so I'm just going to explain nice and close to the camera rather than showing you the steak itself. I'm literally going to be flipping this every 20 seconds or so for 3 to 4 minutes, so that it's done nice and medium rare, just how I like my steak. Plenty of salt on there, in a little bit of oil. I don't want to go too hard on the oil because I am, of course, trying to get that body recomp and lose a little bit of fat mass. So every 15 seconds, let me flip the camera around. You can see that almost like shine on it with the sea salt there. So every so often, flip it over. Starting to get a nice colour on it already. But that is literally how I'm going to whip this up. I'm going to come over here so you can't hear the sizzle. I'm going to whip that up, show you what I have it with, and then tuck in and let you know how it tastes, more importantly. couple of eggaroonies in there and all, what to say. Right, okay, and while my tomatoes cook in the juices of the steak and the eggs are bubbling away there, I've cooked this steak for about 3 minutes, so I'm going to let it rest for double that time. So I'm going to let it rest here for about 6 minutes, and then I'll go, English, can't get my words out, and then I'm going to slice into it, plate up, give it a taste test, explain the nutrition, and then that'll be a wrap for the day, so stay tuned for that. I've also got a nice little chunk of Parmesan cheese that'll grate over everything, so yeah, it's all good, whole foods, protein is flowing, I'm loving this. Oh, look at that. We are talking. You're in business. I'm going to give it, I'm going to move this camera head up. Little taste test. On the money. That is the key to a good steak. Flip it regularly. I forget where I see it now. I've seen a couple of chefs do it. Flip your steak regularly. It's the answer to all your woes. Time to plate up. Right, okay, let's have a little look at this. That's what we're dealing with. Cherry vine tomatoes, 2 fried eggs in a little bit of olive oil, some Parmesan cheese, mushroom. The dog won't leave me alone because I've got steak. Go away. You got no chance. Now let's have a little look at what we're dealing with here. I think that's pretty much perfectly medium rare. So that is what we're dealing with. You're going to see me actually get a little video, a little behind the scenes moment for Instagram. See what we're dealing with. Right. Behind the scenes for Instagram. The camera won't focus. Need to do that again. That's the first. Sorry, the camera's. Right, let's keep that rolling. So, that's the behind the scenes, and now we can give it a little taste test. So it looks pretty medium rare. Hugo, it's the dog's name, he won't leave me alone. It's a nice bit of steak actually. Considering it's from the co-op, very nice indeed. But yeah, just to explain the nutrition behind this, obviously, nice and easy 6K run. Wasn't wholly necessary to load up on too many carbs. So I've got an easy, very, very easy day tomorrow. I think I mentioned it beforehand, but 6K light jog is pretty much an active recovery day. So plenty of protein was the goal. Some micronutrients with the mushrooms and the cherry tomatoes. But it's Friday night, so I'm just looking to enjoy myself with my food. I've got a bit more time on my hands. I'm eating this a little later than I typically would like to. I normally like to eat my last meal of the day at around 8:30. It's currently 9:30, so it's what it is. Can't be helped. Busy day with work, it's what happens. It normally happens on a Friday. But yeah, I'm all home alone, so you know, I'm here enjoying my own company. I've got Love Island on the telly. Don't get much better than that. But that is going to be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching as always. I really do appreciate you taking the time. I was saying, the dog is going mental. The dog is going absolutely mental. But I was saying, if you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting that like button, dropping a comment down below and hitting subscribe, because I'm bringing these videos every single week in the build up to Hyrox Valencia. What do you want? We're now in week 5 of the block. This is the 4th episode of this little mini-series, I believe. So stay tuned for plenty more. Go and check the rest of my channel because I've got, you know, some educational style videos. I'm releasing 3 videos a week now. So I really would appreciate your support.
Thank you so much for watching once more. I'll see you all in the next one in a bit.